U/UK_J askReddit. Ex-Christians, what made you leave church? This is the placeholder intro file. Can be easily swapped. The total hypocrisy of those I grew up around. Claim to be about love. Spend most of their time hating people not like them. Claim to be about evangelism. Literally only hang out with and talk to each other. Claim to be about giving. Spend all of their energy focused on making more money for themselves. Not to mention they have conditioned themselves to avoid critical thinking at all costs. Must accept blind truths at face value. Or else. I was beeped 6 weeks before my wedding and fell pregnant by my attacker. The church told me that I couldn't get an abortion and that I needed to call off my wedding and marry the man who assaulted me instead because it was best for the child to have both of its parents. I also worked for the church preschool and they threatened to fire me for breaking the code of conduct which prohibited pregnancy out of wedlock. I miscarried a few weeks after I found out and they accused me of sabotaging my pregnancy. Went to church twice a week on my own as a teenager. I learned to play drums in the church band. Sometimes I played piano for church. My best friend's stepdad was a pastor. He was a con artist and took full advantage of the church. Told the elderly people to donate their entire social security checks to the church to buy their way into heaven. When he was caught, he took all the money and ran. Nasty divorce. He went to jail. Youth minister became the new pastor. Best friend's mom had a thing for church guys and eventually hooked up with the youth minister. He eventually showed his true colors too. He was molesting my friend's sister and hitting my friend's mom. He also stole money from the church and elderly people. He went to jail as well. The church shut down and I went to a new church. The first sermon at this new church talked about money, how many times money was mentioned in the Bible and what kind of benefits it brings to the followers of Jesus Christ. I got up and left in the middle of it. That night I went to my special place at the park and laid in the grass. I watched the stars for hours thinking and reflecting. I thought, our universe is so incredibly vast. When I got home, I spent months researching other religions. Why are they all similar and why are they all about the same thing? Why are there rules and edits? Then I dove into massive scientific studies on how the universe works. When my younger sister with Down syndrome was told she wasn't eligible for communion despite taking all of the classes because she didn't understand. Lack of answers, judgment, and hypocrisy mostly. I also read the Bible over and over and I just wasn't getting what other people were apparently getting out of it. Also, every time I prayed, nothing happened. Every now and then someone would be like, the Lord spoke to me. I always waited for something like that. It just never did. That lack of answers thing really bugged me the most though. I really wanted what I read in the Bible to be true, but I just couldn't find anything to support most of its claims. I was really sad for a while, and scared that the devil tricked me. After a while though, I didn't believe in him either. You can only pray, cry over your open Bible, and beg for guidance for so long before the absolute silence becomes unbearable and you have to face facts. I gave it up for Lent and never went back. The fact that everyone wants to be a disciple of Jesus but don't do what Jesus told his disciple to do. Preachers having massive homes while the people that go to the church struggle. It's hypocrisy from the top down. Too many contradictions in the Bible. Too many hypocrites in the church. Too many inconsistencies in the logic of an all-knowing, all-seeing, all-powerful beep that has such a beep world with suffering and terrible behavior. This quote started my journey. Is beep willing to prevent evil, but not able? Then he is not omnipotent. Is he able, but not willing? Then he is malevolent. Is he both able and willing? Then whence cometh evil? Is he neither able nor willing? Then why call him beep? Epicurus. If any beep worthy of the title existed, they'd send a message to everyone, mentally stating the right religion and what it will take to get to heaven. Free will could still be used to decide whether people wanted to follow, and then he would institute instant karma for any religious leaders abusing their position. But none of that happens. Babies are still beep and murdered. Religions all over the world take advantage of the naive, dumb, and gullible, enriching themselves at the cost of their followers. And this being who is supposedly a loving and forgiving beep can't do beep about it and considers the gauntlet we run in life to be a test to determine where we go when we die. If someone believes in worshipping that guy, they're just as evil as he is. They damaged my mind. I always thought I would go to beep for things I like, such as horror films, heavy metal and tabletop RPGs. They left me. My first partner and I grew up in the church together. We were seen as the golden couple in our youth group. Good, proper Christian couple. Said our prayers. Worked with the less fortunate. Youth work. Worship. I even led sermons. Eventually we moved away to start a new life together. We then broke up. I then find that I'm being kicked out of groups on WhatsApp and Facebook. People are unfriending me on social media. All from the church. I found out she'd gone home first and started talking to people. I don't know what she told them. But none of the people I saw as my second family. This fellowship I'd felt so welcome in even came to me to talk. I was left alone. I reached out to multiple people to say I needed prayer because I was struggling. I got nothing. I felt abandoned by Beep and abandoned by his people. So I walked away from that life. A family member of mine committed suicide, which already made me question Beep, considering they were the sweetest person I've ever met. Even to this day, I think I stopped believing when I was at my Christian school and some people were playing Would You Rather. One was would you rather be murdered or commit suicide, and the other person said murdered because people who commit suicide go to Beep. I thought that was crazy. Also the fact that they're all so judgy but constantly preach about how judging people is not up to us. I also hate how they push religion on everyone but then get mad when other religions do the same thing. They honestly scared me into believing in Beep. In my personal experience, people closest to the church are some of the most evil people out there. I was a preteen locking myself in a dark closet because that's where I felt the closest to Beep. In the darkness, like he was something that couldn't be seen, only felt. And I looked up into the nothingness of my closet ceiling after the millionth episode of physical and emotional abuse from my dad. I asked him to save me. Beep. Not my dad. I was crying, screaming, please, please save me. I was just a kid. Surely I didn't deserve this. No one answered, and it occurred to me that anyone who could stop this and couldn't exist, so I stopped believing. Because people in the church are just like people outside of the church. Even though, as the story goes, they have an omnipotent and all-powerful being guiding them and making them better, their membership falls into the same metrics as the non-faithful. Same ratios of income distribution. Same ratios of sickness. Same ratios of people who volunteer. Same humanity. But if there's a Beep behind it, guiding, training, blessing, urging toward altruism and other good things, shouldn't there be a marked difference? In like any religion? But no sect of Christianity, or really any other religion, does anything more than what happens when you get a large group of people living under the same general ethos, complete with the internal squabbles and divisions. It doesn't look like humanity plus which it's represented as. It just looks like humanity. I realized there's no bigger hate than Christian love. All my friends weren't Christian, so we'd always talk about our beliefs and found my wasn't grounded in Christianity but rather told to believe it. If it's your things, congrats. Found not to be my thing. I got my master's degree in religion. Was a youth minister at the time. Learned that we basically don't know that anything in the Bible Jesus said is actually something he said. This started the fast unraveling as I moved more and more into how unreliable the history and reliability of the Bible actually is. That, and there's no way I can believe Noah got all the animals on that boat and redistributed through the world. Realizing it was a poorly written fairy tale. He sent his son, who is also himself, to earth so humans could beat him. And once his son, self, was murdered, he could finally save all people from his own punishment by forgiving them all. All of human civilization was being punished because two of them once believed a talking snake with legs. What? I was brainwashed into it as a child, like 99.9% of religious people. I saw the control and hypocrisy early on, but the no true Scotsman fallacy kept me believing. I'd just say, oh well, those bad Christians aren't real Christians. Getting into adulthood, I started seeing that the cruelty, abuse, judgment, and hatred was not a bug, but a feature. The Beep of the Bible is a vengeful Beep, filled with hate and a desire to make everything suffer. The bad Christians are just the ones that are doing a good job following the Bible. So my answer is kinda complicated. BC, I still follow what the Bible actually says. But I left the traditional system. BC, they're sexiest and toxic AF, and I believe that some things, like herbalism or crystals or energy, isn't witchcraft. Not to mention that 99% of Christians have no beep clue what any of the teachings actually meant. BC. They're so taken out of context. Plus they're really hateful. They try to say beep specifically against LGBTQ plus members, and I'm like, brew, man after Beep's own heart had multiple wives and side pieces. A dude slept with his dill and got her pregnant. A whole group of people wanted to beep angels. I don't think Beep really cares about beep sin more than any other kind. They're super big on purity culture, which puts all the blame on innocent prepubescent girls who have close to no clue what beep is and told that they're less valuable for losing their virginity, or that beep will love them less and so will their true future husbands. They allow and justify abuse of all kinds. They twist the words to suit their needs. They don't show love, and they portray beep as this vengeful, hateful, horrible deity who's going to send you to beep if you don't wear the right clothes. They believe women have no place in a church other than to be taught or to do cooking for a function or to take care of children so that the men once again don't have to take responsibility for anything other than acting on their bigotry, which they think is a good thing. And my mother is a classic Christian Karen, so no thank you. Beat them. Jesus ate with the lowest of society and loved them more than the religious bigots. That says a lot. So no, I don't identify as Christian anymore, and I left the church I grew up in for those reasons. But I still follow the actual teachings because they are actually just rules of morality and respect of others. This is the placeholder outro file. Congrats! You made it through the entire video. This segment is supposed to fill 20 to 30 seconds. So I'll keep talking a bit. Hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to hit the like button, ring the bell and subscribe to the channel. Any improvement ideas? Write us at autogenlabs@gmail.com or leave a comment. Have a great day.